After that sensational game at Anfield yesterday, today I'll be looking just at what has gone wrong at Liverpool, how good Manchester City were, and how Jurgen Klopp can even attempt to fix this in the future. So first off, and I've got to admit, Jurgen Klopp's team selection doesn't exactly strike me as the best one. Now I know instead of playing maybe lesser experienced centre-backs, he's gone for the likes of Fabinho and Jordan Henderson in defence. But there's two sides to this. First off, they're not centre-backs. Yes, they're filling in well. Yes, they're very good players, but they're just not centre-backs. He went out on the last day and bought the likes of Ozan Kabak, and on top of this as well, Ben Davies, and he's got Nat Phillips on the bench, but just isn't playing them. Now, against Manchester City's brilliant attacking force, maybe you can understand why. But the fact he's not played the centre-backs then means that Jordan Henderson and Fabinho aren't having the same desired effect in midfield. Moving further forward into the midfield, and Gini Wijnaldum, he looks decent at times, but I'm not so sure he's quite what he was a few years ago. Thiago seems to be having a bit of trouble filling into the Liverpool midfield. And on top of this, the players are playing every single game. They're getting absolutely knackered. Jurgen Klopp complains that Man City had 2 weeks off because of a cancelled game because of Corona. And I'm not sure whether it's actually true that that would have affected Manchester City so much, but Jurgen Klopp can't really complain when he refuses to change his squad around. Having Fabinho and Jordan Henderson back to the midfield would allow them to exert their influence from their natural positions, and we've seen that Jordan Henderson, despite the fact that footballing ability-wise he's probably not up there with the greatest centre-mids in the Premier League, influence-wise, from that position, what he brings to the team, there's probably not a more important player to a team in the way that Jordan Henderson is in midfield. Certainly in stark contrast to what he is at centre-back, but there is one area of the team that Jurgen Klopp cannot take the blame for, and that is Alisson. That is an absolute shocker. To give away one mistake, fine. There was two mistakes in the lead up to the second goal, I believe, or the third goal maybe. To two mistakes, and to then do it again is such a lazy approach. It's not good enough. It's just not acceptable. And Klopp said afterwards that yes, Alisson saved them multiple times. Great. He's also let you down massively in possibly one of the biggest games of the season, which now that it's ended in a 4-1 defeat has led to ultimately the collapse of their attempt to try and retain their Premier League crown. On top of this, I just thought that in the game Man City were better. Liverpool just looked a bit too slow, not quite together, and I thought that tactically Pep Guardiola has yet again shown himself to be an unbelievable manager. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts on Pep Guardiola, because all the time I just see, Pep spent this, Manchester City spent this, he's a money manager, this, that and the other. I'm not having any of it at all. In the same way, right, that Virgil van Dijk is missing for Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp not only has spent money but has failed to cover the problem, Sergio Aguero has been missing for most of the season for Manchester City, and Pep Guardiola has got around the problem by not only not playing another striker, Gabriel Jesus on the bench, but also turning Ilkay Gundogan into a goal-scoring midfielder, the likes of which he has never been in his career before. 9 Premier League goals now for Manchester City this season in the Premier League. He is their top goal scorer. And honestly, he could have had a hat-trick had he not blazed that penalty high over the bar. The difference is for me yesterday is that moving forward as well, Pep Guardiola just seems to have a real handle on his team and what he does when he's missing certain players. The style doesn't necessarily change too much. And I think with Virgil van Dijk out and a few other players injured for Liverpool, Klopp has panicked. They're of course not the same team. Manchester City aren't the same team. They were without De Bruyne as well. They were without Fernandinho as well. And yet they looked absolutely fantastic. Liverpool, when they press, very, very good against other teams. The gegenpressing, winning it back high up the pitch. Teams just don't know what to do against them, but not Manchester City. I honestly thought watching that game, there is not a team in the world who looks more comfortable without the ball and more comfortable under pressure than Manchester City do. Playing it out from the back, Ederson's getting involved as well, showing Alisson how to play out from the back. John Stones on the ball, remarkably comfortable. The way they move it around allows them to break the press so easily and then go on the counter-attack, and they've got the players to counter-attack at speed and really do some damage. Like against 90% of the teams, Liverpool would panic opposition into losing the ball or just giving it straight back to them. And it just doesn't happen with Manchester City. And this has to be the massive plus for Pep Guardiola. Right, checking what else we've got for yesterday. Because I've got a massive question around Jurgen Klopp. Does he now have what it takes to make a strong end to the season? Can they go on, win the Champions League? Because they're out the FA Cup, they're out the League Cup. So, and if you're saying they're out the title race, can they go on and win the Champions League? Or is it just going to be excuse after excuse after excuse about not being able to adapt and play his players in the right position? Because in all honesty, if Liverpool aren't going to be able to do that, maybe there's some serious questions. It was noted after the game by Jamie Carragher that there are some big questions around Jurgen Klopp. But if Liverpool were to get rid of him, I don't think they're going to do it now. And to be honest, I don't really think they should. Like, even if they don't really have a deep run into the Champions League, what he's done for Liverpool, what he's brought them, with a couple, two or three maybe new signings, I think they'd actually be absolutely fine again. On one side, they are the victim of their own success, like putting up the numbers that they consistently produce for those last two seasons in the Premier League and 2 Champions League finals in a row. It's incredibly difficult to continuously do that. Like, the fact they made it look so easy has contributed to their downfall, because now it's what's as expected of Liverpool. It's just not that easy to do. But give Jurgen Klopp a few more players. Obviously, when he's got injuries, when he's got his players back from injury, although every team has injuries, you just have to deal with it, they'll be a better side. But I wouldn't be so hasty as to sack Jurgen Klopp just yet. Purely as well, on top of this, because who are they going to get in? If Jurgen Klopp is to leave Liverpool tomorrow, this evening, as Liverpool fans, who would you like to see? Who would you throw in instead of Jurgen Klopp? I'm not so sure there's a ready-made replacement who's actually going to be able to bring to Liverpool what he has done in the past few years. So overall, City deserved it. They were far better. I've not seen such a bad run of games from Jurgen Klopp and from Liverpool in so many years, apart from, well, the 2 away games against Spurs and West Ham. They look void of any creativity. They're really struggling to put some good moves together like they were for the last few seasons. Their intensity, their pressing, absolutely anything kind of looks like that they're just wearing down a bit, and it's just been a hectic couple of years. But having said that, like I mentioned before, let me know in the comments who you think would replace Klopp if they are to get rid of him, and how on earth they're going to fix this situation. You guys let me know in the comments. As always, make sure you check out everything else we've got going on OneFootball by clicking here and here. And until next time, I will see you guys later.